Happy Thursday and take two. Yeah, it's just something like Happy Friday, and I'm like, it's not even Friday yet, it's Thursday. So, happy Thursday, everybody, and it's time for a weekend energy forecast. And before we start that, man, let's do a smudge. We've had a lot of craziness go on in the past couple of weeks, all over the world, not just here, not just there, but all over the world. And so it's kind of like a good idea here to just kind of clear some of that energy off and hit the reset button so you can reset and refocus on what you really want to focus on. So today we're using a deck that I don't use very often, or I haven't used very often. Usually when I use this deck, I'm thinking about careers or finance, the way that we physically, meaning financially, kind of look at things and putting things together and how we live our life. And I just kind of got called to um, uh, got called today that it was important for me to um, use this deck, and that's the deck that I'm going to go with. Now, this is like a really huge deck, so I'm going to kind of do some shuffling to it, and then I'm going to divide it into an A, B, and C. That card, for whatever reason, popped out, so we're going to keep that card because it might be something that we need to look at on that. So yeah, we're living life today. Look at this card sticking up. I guess maybe we won't be doing it with the cards A, B, and C because it looks like I have like cards sticking up, sticking out. So I might just roll with those, and I think that's what I'll do. Okay, all right. So there's a wad of cards. And is there anything else that we want to look at? Giving a shout out to my friend Mary Jane over at Fort Cobb Lake Store. Even though you're closed for the season, don't think I don't think about you. She's a cool lady, has a cool little store. So if you're a fishing kind of person in season, her Fort Cobb Lake Store is open. It's over there by Eagle's Nest at Fort Cobb Lake. Okay, it looks like the cards that I have in hand are quite a few, so we're going to roll with these. So I would say before I get started, make sure you have something to eat or drink, or just kick back and get relaxed, because there's quite a few cards for us to look at. So it means that we got a lot of things happening about living life, because this reading this weekend energy forecast is about living life, and I'm kind of focusing on that energy of living life. So let's take a look at that first um, row, actually. Yeah. Interesting. All right, so this is what I'm going to kind of bring these a little closer here. So that first card, we've got the card Gestures. And then you'll notice that it's the energy coming in, or not the energy coming in, or it's where we're coming from energy. And the gestures is, when I'm looking at this, I'm talking about kind of being closed off, wearing blinders, that you're not paying attention. And I'm going to say in many ways, you're not paying attention purposefully to what's in front of you or what's around you. So this is kind of like, I'm going to say it's like being really closed off. You see somebody has a flat on the side of the road and you just drive on by acting like you didn't see it. That's what this card is saying about just being really dissociated from what's going on around you and being a little bit closed off. Maybe more than a little bit, but I'm trying to be sweet. All right, and then the second card here is the many choices card, and it's in the obstacle and it's upside down. So when I'm looking at this card, and let's look at it right side up here, this is about having a lot of options in front of you. And when we see it, it is many choices upside down in the obstacle position. And I'm like, guess what? You have not very many paths, not very many choices. You have pretty much 1 to 2 things that you can choose from. You can either go this way or go that way. Well, I guess 3 things, or stay on the path or doing what you're doing. So there's not a lot of options. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And but what I see as the help card in the help area here is the protection card. So it's saying, regardless of the nonsense, the shish, feeling imprisoned or suffocated, you really are pretty well protected. You've got a lot of, you've got more good things on your side than you do negative things. And I'm kind of like, sometimes people will think that, when they're closed off or they're not, they just kind of go a little bit on the AWOL. Hey, Emily, it's my cat coming in. Sometimes people look at that as, as a bad thing. And I'm like, sometimes it's a good thing, because then, you kind of being disconnected, you're staying out of a lot of the minutia that's around you. All right, so where are we now? Because we're coming in from a lot of shush. Where are we at this moment going into the weekend? And we see the first card is gifts. And so I'm going to say this is going to be cool blessings. And I'm getting the word blessings in disguise. Things that are totally unexpected. I'm looking at that magic card there in that obstacle, and you're like, well, how was that an obstacle? And I'm going to say it's not so much it's an obstacle, but it catches you off guard. And in this, it's something you totally don't expect. But again, remember, it's gifts. It's good things coming, good things happening, blessings. Totally takes you off guard. And this is like coming, so we're looking at tonight, tomorrow. Totally takes you off guard. Really cool energy on that. But I'm looking at where the help is, and it's renewal upside down. So let's just keep it real. This is going to be like a fluke thing that happens. Nothing that you were expecting. Totally takes you off guard. Really cool blessing. But again, that renewal, when I'm looking at that card, and to me it means it's like a fluke thing. It comes in, happens, and then boom, it is gone. It's out the door. Not like it's like, not that something's wasted, but it's a isolated event. That's a good way to put it. Isolated event. All right. And then, so we're looking at maybe what Saturday, like coming with Saturday going to bring in. And that Saturday focus looks like, and I'm kind of laughing with and not at, that this is about your relationships, the people you call your people, your group, your home, your posse, whatever. This is your group of people. And what I'm looking at is that there's a lot of connection in with that, a lot of coming together. But when I see adventure upside down in the obstacle, and then moving up upside down in the help, I'm like, it's probably one of those weekends that might be a little bit on the boring for some of you. Not going out and doing a whole lot of things, but you're spending time connecting with that person, or being, spending quality time with them. But it's pretty much like not doing very much. Some of you are like, I love the weekend. It's when I get to go out and do things and explore and experience. And like, no, this is probably going to be a little bit of a low-key weekend. Not a lot of personal action going on. Things are focused on the home and on relationships. And where's this kind of leading us into Sunday and Monday? Or Sunday at least. And so I'm looking at here at this flexibility card, upside down, shedding upside down. and money matters upside down. Okay. Um, let's go back to quality of time versus quantity of time. So in this particular line, what I'm looking at, Emily's being naughty in the window, and that flexibility upside down, money matters upside down, and shedding upside down. That again is kind of reinforcing that staying at home, being very low key. Um, uh, I could see some of you putting your phone on silent and not answering your telephone or returning text messages, etc. Just kind of like being a little bit on the MIA. So when I'm looking, just to kind of reinforce a little bit here, so when I'm looking at money matters, what I'm getting in this particular line is about not and I'm going to laugh when I say this. This is about not leaving a paper trail. Not leaving a paper trail. You're going to go a little, what I'm going to call MIA, missing in action, whatever. And just really be on that disconnect, on the down low, on, keeping things very, very low key. I see a lot of that energy through there. Some of that might have to do with the holidays coming up and not wanting to get in the middle of or get, it's already kind of a little anxiety with some of the things that are going on in our country, in our world. So a lot of times people have a little anxiety coming into Christmas or coming into Thanksgiving, into that massive holiday season, especially when there might be some family issues or just some different perspectives, and you know that you're going to get together at the same table, and there's going to be some anxiety with that because you really don't know what's going to happen, even though you have it played two different ways in your head. So, well, let's look at where does this all wind up? Where are we heading to? And kind of laughing at the first card. I just glanced at it. And it's saying in here, looking, and it's talking about it's okay to look for better work, to be discreet in your search. You need to be aligned with your life purpose to be fully satisfied. And when I'm looking at this card, I don't think it has to do with you going out and looking for a job. I feel like this probably leans a lot more over to about being aligned with your life purpose. So that you do feel connected, you do feel grounded, that you feel valued in what you do. And I'm going to say it like this. It doesn't have to be about work when we're looking at this. It can be about life in general, because this is kind of, that was the focus that I was asking for, was what's life in general. And so we're looking at this looking. And so I want us to focus on that last part about being aligned. Are you aligned? Have you set up some system of personal checks and balances to determine what your life purpose is? I'm offering for the month of November. I still have that life purpose reading that's available for like $40 or $45. I think it's $40. And it focuses only on your life purpose. And so when I'm looking at this card and the looking talks about being in alignment, it kind of reminded me it's a good idea to get a life purpose reading to ensure that are you clear on what your agreement was. And depending on what age you are, you could also rewrite some of those agreements and modify those life purposes. But let's look and see what the obstacle is. And the obstacle is strategy. And so when I'm looking at this card and I'm like, what in the world would strategy in an obstacle is? And I'm like, going to say it. Don't be overwhelmed by creating your plan A, your plan B, your plan C, your plan D for your life. Okay? Do not be overwhelmed. It is super important for you to sit down, especially it's November. We're getting to the end of the year. It's sit down and review the year. Look at things that you've done, you've accomplished, that you didn't accomplish, things that you love that happened, things that you didn't love that happened. Just kind of examine the whole events of 2024. Are they in alignment with your goals? Are they getting you to where you want to go? And is it something in there in 2024 that you have zero regret for? Is if you have something that you have regret for, we need to work on that. That's what I'm looking at I'm feeling when I'm looking at these three cards in together. That looking is about being in alignment. Are you fulfilling? Do you even know what your life purpose is? And are you living up to that life purpose? Through there. And so that strategy card is kind of like what I'm going to call a gentle, rude reminder. A gentle, rude reminder. That's an oxymoron. For us to sit down and make sure that we have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. And do we know where we're going to? Do we even have a plan to get where we're going to? That's what those cards are referring to. What I love on that third and last card is, where does all this energy from this weekend, the experiences, where do they lead us to? And I love the last card, and that last card is people skills. And what I'm going to say with this card right here is this particular card allows us to figure out our niche or our ability to connect and find common ground with other people, even when we don't think we have common ground with them. So embrace this energy. Chance always favors a prepared mind. And if you know the energy that's coming in, you have the ability to make the best choice for a win-win situation. So I hope you enjoyed this weekend energy forecast. I was using the career and life deck. Please do me a great big favor and love this video.